Find the area of the circle. Label point H. Since O is the center of the circle, line H, K is the diameter equals 2 times R, which is the radius of the circle. Join line B, H. It is because the angle in a semicircle equals 90 degrees. Also, angle GB, H equals 90 degrees. Since the sum of angle HBK and angle GB, H equals 180 degrees. It is because the sum of angles in a straight line equals 180 degrees. Now, let us find the length of line D, H using secant theorem. It implies that the product of G, D and G, H equals the product of G, B and G, K. It implies that the product of 9 and the sum of 9 and D, H equals the product of 8 and the sum of 8 and 10, which equals 144. Divide the equation by 9. Thus, the sum of 9 and line D, H equals 144 divided by 9, which equals 16. Subtract 9 from both sides of the equation. Hence, D, H equals 16 minus 9, which equals 7. This implies that D, H equals 7 units. Consider right triangle HBG. Using Pythagoras theorem. The square of B, H equals the square of G, H minus the square of BG. Substitute values and we have that the square of B, H equals the square of the sum of 9 and 7 minus the square of 8, which equals to 192. It implies that the square of B, H equals 192. We call it equation 1. From right triangle HBK. Using Pythagoras theorem. The square of HK equals the sum of the square of B, H and the square of BK. Substitute value of equation 1 and that of BK. We have that the square of H, K equals the sum of 192 and the square of 10, which equals to 292. Take the square root of the equation. It implies that HK equals the square root of 292, which equals the product of 2 and the square root of 73. But HK equals diameter, which equals to 2 times R, where R equals the radius of the circle. It implies that 2 times R equals the product of 2 and the square root of 73. Divide the equation by 2. It is signify that R equals 2 times the square root of 73 all divided by 2, which equals the square root of 73. It means that R is equals to the square root of 73. Thus, The area of the circle equals pi times the square of r, which equals to pi times the square root of 73 in square units. Therefore, the correct option is B.